What's going on, Danny Crew? It's Danny Drew here, and we are back for another day of Catan. Welcome. If this is your first time coming here, you are going to learn about this beautiful game that we call Catan. You're going to learn the strategies, the ideas, pretty much how to dominate your friends and family, but also do it with a smile. But in today's video, we are going to be reviewing, I guess you can call it one of my students' games, a friend of mine, and we're going to be going through, Vespi knows, Twitch, say hi to YouTube. That's where we are live here. So if you like Twitch, you can come visit us where we stream pretty often here. But we're going to be reviewing this player's game. He's already played it, so this is a recorded video, but we don't know the results. I don't know the results. All I know is it was a great game. So I'm excited. And what we're going to do is go through the game from start to finish, look at all the insights, all the little nuggets to help you extract as much value and education that you can. Twitch, if you guys are ready, you guys and girls are ready, we're going to have a great time here. So, because the way Vish set up this video, gotta adjust real quick. So the way Vish set up this video, it kind of like oddly jumps. So we're going to start our analysis right here. Now, for anyone who's never seen me analyze a board, I always start by looking at individual resources first. A lot of players typically, when they first get into Catan, what they're doing is they look at spots. So they'll say, hey, the 695 or the 843. No. We don't do that here. Instead, we first take an assessment of all the individual resources, what's available, what's accessible, and then we can start looking at spots after the fact. So looking at this board, and I'd like to encourage you at home to do the same with me, let's go through each resource and kind of see what is going on here. I like to start with the ore and the wheat. That's always kind of just a heuristic that I've developed in my game. But wheat, really only one good wheat tile, which is looking at the 8 there. So it kind of feels like two players are going to have access to this really good wheat. Interesting to note. Or kind of a similar situation. There's two ore spots, and it kind of feels like only two players are going to get to really enjoy that ore unless somebody goes coastal like 8-10 or 8-3. Interesting, okay. Brick, pretty strong between the 5-9-4. Wood, very strong. Actually, one of the most strongest resources on this board. So if you think about it, with the strong wood, the strong brick, you can pair that really well in terms of a road building dynamic. And then sheep, probably the least favorited resource within all of the Catandom. But sheep's kind of middle of the road. You have the 6, then the 10, the 11, and the 12. So I don't think sheep's going to be the real question here. I think it's really about the play between who's got the wheat and who's got the ore. And it kind of feels like everyone's going to have a little bit of the wood and brick. Maybe one player will be missing brick, it looks like. All right. Chris, let's go. Love it. Bricked Up in the chat. Hi, YouTube. Bricked Up is here. What is good, my man? So that's kind of the assessment here. I always like to take a look at all the individual resources just to get a sense of what's the value on this board. Road building is going to be, I'd say, pretty plentiful. Probably the development card game is going to be a little clunky given the ore situation or the wheat situation. All right, now first pick. I usually always try to go for, I guess you could call it diversity, high production, flexibility. I really like the 695. It gives you the road building in a box, really strong production spot, also the road, also 8-5-10. So this is a great example of picking up that rare resource, getting the compatible wood and the brick. So to me, these are probably your first two picks. But let's kind of go through, let's kind of see how this board starts to get chopped up here. I would say the 8-5-10 for sure is probably, yep. And you'll see the video is going to jump just a little bit. 8-5-10 goes down. Now, unfortunately, the way Vish recorded this video, he kind of like messed up a little bit and it jumps to his 4th position. So let's just kind of see what happens. Boom. All right. Damn, these guys too fast for us. So blue went first, took the 8-5-10. Logical pick. Then it looks like red, really keen on getting the ore, which people love ore in Catan, understandable. Took the 8-4-3. And then black in third took the 6-9-5. Okay. I think this is all reasonable, well and good. I do kind of feel like taking the ore here in second. Is he going to get the wheat? Maybe play off of something like a 6-3-11 to kind of complete an ore wheat sheep game. It's just going to depend. And I always find it's interesting when you look at these. Oh, let me turn the music just a little bit. If you look at these setups, when you have like a really strong 8 in the corner, what you can do is you can place on either side. So for instance, 8-10 being open, surprisingly is a pretty damn good spot for blue. So that's just something to keep in mind. That could certainly be a target for blue, which makes the 8-5-10 even more flexible to have that kind of out. Cosmic Muffin, the Dandy Crew. What is good, my man? Thoughts on 5-4-10, 8-3-4? Well, that's where we're at. So we are in the 4th position here, Dandy Crew. Now we've got to find, how does Vish play this game? I think going off of our original analysis, looking at this 8-3-4, we obviously quite liked it. Now, let's see. Bricked Up is saying the 5-4-10 and the 8-4-3. I guess at home, what would you pick here? Like, what do you like in terms of what's on this board? I guess, what would you do if you went 5-10-4 there? Because if you think you're going to 8-10, you very well might end up losing that to blue, which certainly makes the 4-10-5, I think, a less viable pick. So let's get some other opinions on this board here. What do we like? What do we want to do? I guess 8-10 gets taken. Exactly. 8-4-3, 10-5-4. What's up, Christo? Yeah, I think this is playable, but again, it does run that issue if you are trying to get to the 8-10. I don't think you're getting it. That's the thing. But if you can calculate that you'll get that spot, I really like it. Like, for instance, if the 9-4-11 is left open for blue, that could be a very attractive proposition for blue because of the wood port. What other options do we have? We have something like the 8-3-4. So I think we all agree the 8-4-3 is really good here. Taking advantage of getting that rare wheat, picking up the best available brick. There's also this idea of the 6-9-3, and for those who know me, I'm a big fan of the 6-9-3. It is a little bit of an interesting setup. It does, it is high production. You are playing without the sheep, but potentially going to a port could make this work really well. And I'm just looking at this too. If we go 6-9-3 point right, is it possible that the 9-10-2 will be open here? It is. I mean, I'm not exactly sure who might take that. Potentially maybe blue, and then like build out to the left. So I think these are two good options. 8-3-4, 5-10-4 point up and pray. Or you could do the 6-9-3 point right, 8-3-4 point left, wheat port 3-1, and potentially 9-10-2. Otherwise, if you just want to be a little more conservative, you could take the 5-10-4 point left. That's also an idea too. Boop coming with the 6-9-3, 8-3-4. Yeah, I like that. I think that's a little bit more of my style. I like playing with just high production. I find one of my personal skills is I'm very good at working unorthodox setups. Like if you saw the video today, well, I mean, it was literally called the WoW setup, which is wood, ore, and wheat. Which I've never heard that before, but somebody in the comments said this is the WoW setup. I said, I believe you. 6-9-3, then go to the wheat port because it'll be on all the wheat. Yeah, I think that makes sense a lot. And then you double your brick on the 11-4, which I like. Now, Cosmic's coming in saying, any merit to the 9-4-11, or is it just strictly worse than the 4-5-10? Well, I mean, production-wise, it is worse, right? Like, you're instead of going on the 10, you're going the 11. But the real benefit of the 5-4-10 here is your access to the 8-10 if it's open. I mean, that's the real kicker here, is if you think you get the 8-10, then by all means, you take that setup. But I'm just really concerned that blue is probably not going to do that. Like, he's not going to leave the center of the board open. He'll take the 8-10, but I'm not sure. Maybe you could also take the risk, too. Like, you could say, screw it. I'm going to try my best, and if I get the spot, then I'm in a fantastic position. That's an option. I don't hate it. All right, but let's go through. Let's see what Vish does here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to obviously go through the hand, just kind of see how he played it. I'm excited though. This looks like an interesting board no matter what he does. I'd say Vish is he's a relatively creative player. He does like or wheat sheep, but I have seen him play a little bit more less straightforward setups. So I really wouldn't be surprised if he takes the 693 here. Tarek Kiss coming in. Appreciate you. Pimpkin, thank you with the follow. Thank you, thank you. 810 is so good for blue. Coordinated eights. It's not bad. Okay, so Vish is looking at some options here. He's going 8-3-4. Points left. All right. Oh, he couldn't do it. I mean, I think it's a fair assessment to realize that. Though it might be the case, the more I look at this, maybe blue might really favor the idea of potentially taking the wood and building around the center and playing off the wood part. So it's going to be interesting to see how this works. But a lot of players love the ore. I can see the 8-10 going, it's like 50-50 to me. We got 43 people from around the world. Welcome, welcome. We are doing a student review game. I'm not going to be stopping too much. I want the game to start getting moving here. But now an interesting case for black, who has the biggest starting spot in the game, but now he's got to figure out, where am I going? What am I doing? Could be the 693 here. It's a ton of wood, but I kind of don't mind it. You could also 6-3-11, which kind of gives you the Super 6. You get both of the starting wheats, which could have some tradability potentially with red. But in terms of just like pure production, the 693 is great. Yeah, maybe you don't want to give red the 6-3-11 either. That feels like a very strong or wheat sheep game for them. So are we playing observing? So we are reviewing a student's gameplay. Ooh, 6-3-11 side by side. I have to admit, so I'm very familiar with these kind of structures, these setups for black. This is a tough setup for a lot of players. It requires usually a lot of trading. You have to be ultra efficient with your cards because you're playing kind of a weird, clunky game. You don't have too many settle opportunities that are relatively quick. You have a road settle on the 9. You have a road settle 11-12. But it's not like he has 4 or 5 different road settles in his back pocket. So these kind of structures, you got to be very thoughtful about how you approach it. Now we're going to red. Ooh, okay. Well, now, if Vish sold this, like I said earlier, maybe blue would be very intrigued. Yep, 9-4-11 up. So maybe going to 8-4 was not a bad plan after all, if you saw that the 6-3-11 was going to be a play. But okay. Okay, we're here. And I would say, I mean, who do you take your bets on here? I definitely know who I'd put my money on. Blue looks strong here. Blue looks, yeah. Strong is not the right word. I think it's a much stronger word than strong. Count Crisso coming in with red. Okay, okay. So Count, you're really liking the ore then, huh? Because that's really red's biggest advantage is that he has an 8 ore. I would argue back and say he has an 8 ore, but they have the 8 wheat. And the reality is ore never goes without wheat. So, like, what's more powerful in that situation, the 8 ore or the 8 wheat? But if the 3s roll, obviously, red's going to be doing quite well here. Blue is Thanos. On paper, for sure, blue is the strongest. And if you just look at the position here, I mean, you've got all 5 resources, incredible wood port, the 693. Now, literally the best spot he can build to. It's pretty insane setup for blue. Black, again, we kind of mentioned some of the features of that position. Red needs some 3s, probably some good trades with this excess wheat between black and orange. And then Vish probably needs to realize that he should point it up and run to the 8-10 at some point and see if he can get to that in a meaningful amount of time. So we have a game. Get ready. Good luck, Vish. You're a good player, my friend. Blue is very strong here, though. So in this situation, because Vish Ooh, not a horrible trade. Oh. Yeah, I think given his mix of wood and brick, anytime he can get brick trades is probably slightly favorable to him. Brick always is tradable on this board. This is going to be a very challenging game for Vish, and the question is how is he going to prioritize his objectives? Does he, for instance, go to the wheat port first? Does he try to double back to the 810? I guess what would you do at home? He can also try to get a wheat, pop a dev. I don't particularly think he should be trading his ore, though. Nice. There you go. Wheat port. I think wheat port is good. Also, one of the things that, and this is something I'm really been pushing with a lot of TSI students, there's certain setups where you need a city early. And it's like, I think a really big play for him here is something like the 8-10-4 city, even the 8-4-3 city, with the idea that if he is going to go to the wheat port while he's building the city, that'd just be a massive boost in terms of getting the brick, getting the wheat, which is very tradable with red. In this position, I actually kind of like trying to get an early city now. And it's not like he's far off at all. Yeah, I mean, right here, he could be getting an ore from red, and all of a sudden he's stealing the other wheat. Like, he could drop a city this play if he has the vision for the play. No. Yeah, so here, he could do like a road for ore. He could do a wood sheet for ore. You got to know there's a city play here. You got to feel it. I'm just afraid. I think that's... So, this is an interesting point. Vish is showing some signs of fear here. If that's true, Vish, then block the wood or block the brick, right? Don't block the sheep. Like, what you could do is you can put it on the 9 if you want to solo him, which completely kind of negates the fact that you have that fear of being plowed. You know what I mean? And then your brick has more value. And then you can go to the wheat port. But this is kind of like a very slow road. You know, doubling your 10, the 3-1 just doesn't really sit well here. So I would say right off the bat, you can see there's been 2 big opportunities missed by Vish. He could have blocked the brick to negate the threat, and then he could have also made a deal to get the early city. But you can kind of see like these are just like little nuances that experienced players, and again, Vish is not a bad player, but having that awareness and vision to be able to create these kind of plays, like you got to have a little bit of a creative spark here. It looks like he's probably going to hit. I mean, black's a good steal here. Vish is also a good steal if he knows his hand is mostly ore and wheat. Yeah, I don't hate it. He's very close to a city here. Very close to a city blue. I think he's got 2 ore, 2 wheat, wood, sheep, something like that. He's an ore off. Okay, so blue starting off. Oh, I'm sorry. He popped. He popped twice. Okay, so he doesn't have the ore. See, this is a good example. I would recommend, and this is something a lot of players don't do, is they don't build cities early enough. Like in blue's position or in Vish's position, if you can start with ore and you start to get a few wheats in your back pocket, build the city. Go for the city. I think going for early pops can actually set you back a lot of the time if you're not careful. Like, of course, sure, you can pull the mono and then try to justify it in your head. But if you pull like 2 VPs or if you pull a VP and a knight, it could really set you back in terms of you just get the first city, your production skyrockets, your potential skyrockets. So I see this mistake happen a lot. Early production is so valuable. Yeah. And honestly, for blue, one of his hardest objectives is the city, right? Because he doesn't have a ton of ore. So he was very close if you looked at the rolls and the production he had. He could have probably got a city in the same way that Vish could have. And it's funny, all these little moves, they're just one percenters. You make a consistently good set of moves over a period of 10 or 20 minutes in a game. I mean, it will put you ahead. All right, red probably should be stealing from Vish here. He's got a good hand here. He's got the ore, he's got the wheat. He wants a wood, huh? Like a road builder? What is this? Or a yop, maybe? This is like a telltale sign of either road builder or yop. 4 cards asking for wood as an OWS player. Though if he has a road builder, he should probably plow to 6. Oh, wow. Huh. So I think there's red. He probably wants to go for the ore port. The 9-10-2, really not going to help you. Versus the ore port, doubles your rate, makes your ore a lot more flexible. And ideally, if he gets a city on the 8-3-4, it's like it's all working together. There we go, Vish. There we go. We got a city. So I think not a good priority by red there. He doesn't make a lot of wood. He doesn't have any brick at all. Don't be wasting it. If orange takes 8-10, 8 ore will be blocked. Yeah, but that's, that's something you have to deal with here. It's like, okay, you have a good hex, but that shouldn't stop you from settling on it just because it's going to potentially get blocked. That's just the nature of the beast. So early 8-4-3 city looks really good. That, or honestly, I really don't mind. Oh, that's a weird block. Especially aggressive knight from blue. That's very strange to me. Huh. Okay. I typically find playing aggressive knights is not a... Unless you're going to complete a very hard objective, like the steal is going to get you a city, or it's going to get you a really big settle, by all means do it. But don't play aggressive knights just because you can. Knights are usually one of the biggest tools and assets you have as an OWS player. And you shouldn't just be randomly using them to get a card here and there. I find a lot of players do that, and it's a really big mistake. Okay, Vish. Don't 7 out, my friend. Oh, damn. All right, well, this is not so bad. This is not so bad because there is a lot of wheat on this board. Here we go. Here we go. Unfortunate, man. Unfortunate. Yeah, this is fine. Now, while Vish is doing this play, which I don't mind, where do you think he should city? I think there's an interesting conversation to be had here where the city goes. Oh no, Vish! Not the 6. Oh. Poor black, man. Uh-oh. Is he getting scammed? No, he's not getting scammed. So why trade for wheat? I guess he made a deal. Interesting. Okay. 8-4-3 is fine. I think there's a case for both. I think... Hold on. Let's have him move the... I just don't think black's in a good position. And I think black has such a difficult position. Like, I think keep soloing him doesn't make any sense to me here. I think there's a pretty strong case between both the 5-10-4 and the 8-4-3. Obviously, if his plan is to go to the wheat port, but the problem is he used his original road to go to the 3-1, right? So now the idea of trying to get to the wheat port quickly, it's going to take him a while. He's going to need 2 5s. He's going to need a 10. He's going to need a 4. And honestly, in this situation, it might be the 8-10-4 here, just to really get this 4 cooking, increase his sheep production. And then once he road settles onto the 4-11, well, then the 4 is doubled as well. So it's close. I almost want to argue that maybe, excuse me, the 8-10-4 might get his next city faster because he only needs 2 fours versus 3, as an example. If he was closer to the port, like let's say he dropped this first road here on the 11-4, then I would definitely say 8-3-4. But I just want you to see the differences is like, depending on how he used his road will determine where the city's going to be most effective. Hopefully that makes sense. Like he's not, like I think functionally speaking, the 8-4-10 city is doing better for his position as it stands now. But if he was going to get the wheat port pretty soon, then I'd say the 8-3-4. Red is scary, most scary to me, all the ore. Nice little table talk here. All right. Let me edit some music here. Cue. Put on some good vibes, good vibe times. All right, so looks like he gets a nice little deal here. Well, it feels like Red got a pretty damn good deal there. Though I have to say, I mean, I don't want to give Vish too much shit, but the city is great. I think the city was a good play for him. Now he just needs that 4 to kick in, and he probably should run to the wheat port if he can get a 4 here. Yeah, I think holding is fine. Interesting. Kind of don't mind this deal as well, but blue is very strong, and knowing that they have the, yeah, good stuff. I think going for the 2-for-1 is good. So Count is asking, is he road or is he army? See, blue, I don't like this. I don't like this aggressive knight. For what? For what? What are you doing, man? It's not on you. You only have 1 knight. What's the rush, man? What's the rush? No, I understand too. Red's not blocked, which maybe he's showing some big fear there. But I think this kind of stuff is probably not your smartest move. As far as if Vish is playing road or army, it's really tough. I don't think he's gonna. He has a shot for road potentially, but he's gonna have to make a decision in the middle game about how he best goes for that. So typically, when it comes to road, you want to find a area of space to start building and just like double down on that space. Versus like some players will drop a road here, build and road here, and then try to road here. No, you need to put all your energy into a road network and like go for it to hell or high water. So it's going to depend, but he doesn't really have the clearest plan quite yet. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does. And considering we got 2 players here that are really starting to get some knights in their back pocket, army seems like a stretch, but you never know. Is it better for blue to go to Woodport before? I think 6-9-3 is better for blue, personally. Oh, nicely done, Vish. Nice 4. I think losing the 6-9-3 would be devastating to blue. It's just such a big spot, and you don't want to give that to red, who's already in, I'd say, a very strong position here. No 7. Ooh, god damn, brother. All right. Well, it worked out. He should go 4-11 city. No! Interesting. This is fine. This is fine. He secures the port. He can drop another city. This is great, though. Like, in terms of... Okay, so he's going for the double pop. Okay, all right, let's talk about this here. Let's see what he does. I think the second city's busted here. Because at this point, he can almost do whatever he wants after this fact. No, Vish, don't give up your ore. There you go. Just drop the city. That's a monster city. There you go. All right, all right. So let's talk about Vicious Path here, because he actually can build the 10, I think, in this setup. In his position, when you only have a 4 ore, these two cities are amazing for you. So to like give up a city to get the settle, and it's a guaranteed settle that no one's taking, take the city. 2 pops. The thing is, I think it's better that he gets his setup first. So dropping the 2 cities, getting his ports, and then he can start popping. Because like if he pulls 2 knights and he's fighting against blue or red for army, it kind of feels like he literally threw away his city for a win condition that he's probably not going to get. But yeah, I mean, that was a great turn from him. Of course, I wanted him to go to the 411, but I'm being, I'm nitpicking. The 3-1 is perfectly fine here. The fact they dropped the road was just, I just don't want him to get plowed by black, who's kind of dying for spots. All right, this looks great. Like just pure production, he's crushing. Flexibility, he's crushing. He's got 11-4 wheat port coming in. The only thing after he settles 11-4 is kind of what does he do from there? Does he start doubling down on devs? Does he try to get to the 8-10? Which I think would probably be my play if I'm him. I would settle 11-4 and then start to use the space on the left side of the board where I can road settle. Maybe try to take the ore port. Though thinking about it, maybe in terms of space, maybe you can make the case that the bottom of the board is better for him. So that could be an idea, is he could just really start to try to really control the bottom of the board. Ooh, gives up the brick. I think I would have charged red there. And frankly, the brick's not bad here for him. He still has the ability to go for road, but I guess he's really trying to get that settled down. Ooh, nice. Okay. I do think the sheep has some value on this board, specifically with like red and blue. Ooh, 2 card trade, huh? I think I would probably go for 1 to start because the sheep does have value, but this is not a bad deal. Whew. Blue getting greedy. Blue getting greedy. Don't drop the road up there, Vish. What do we think so far? It feels like he's doing amazing. So I'm very interested to kind of see, does he start getting solo blocked? Now, he could, from a hand management standpoint, he could have also dropped a road, for instance, road here on the 10 here to try to get to the 8-10. Just to manage his hand a little bit, but he's so close to potentially settle. I also don't mind leaving the brick in his hand. You never know when the 10's going to roll or the 4's going to roll again. Not giving you the plow, blue. Now, I want it to be known. Remember what we talked about? There we go. There we go. Finally, he's got a city down. Blue is doing well. Though I do think he probably could have sprinted towards an earlier city. Wheat for non-block 0. Man, it looks like blue is probably crushing just a little bit more than Vish, though. That's a fair block. Blue is cooking, yeah. It does feel that way, right? You gotta hope that red's gonna start buying some devs here. Because if blue gets army, that is a serious problem. Or for... Didn't red just make that trade with Vish like 2 turns ago on Vish's turn? Vish gave him a brick for ore, now he wants it back. That's funny. Julia Gulia, what is good? What is good? Yeah, so Vish is in a very good position here. Looks like he's going to probably end up porting for 6 points 3 would be nice. Oh my goodness. He has another city. Actually, there might be an interesting play idea here too. Ideally, you don't port the ore, but I think there's an idea like sheep for wood. And then you could go to the 810 as an example. So he didn't try it. So I have a rule in Catan. I call it the rule of 3. And the idea is that in every turn, you should be able to come up with at least 3 different options. Now, does that mean you're going to pick the first one or the second one or third one? No, it doesn't matter. But the point is you should be able to see potentially what could happen. Now, the obvious one for him here is that he ports the sheep and settles. And he's still left with a pretty interesting hand. Actually, he's got kind of a dead hand, so I'm assuming he's going to drop a road. The other play is he can drop a city, so that's option 2. Or he can do something like, let's say, 2 sheep for a wood or a wheat, then road, settle, 8-10. And now he's got potentially a road play, like settle and road. I think that's for 9 points. Let's see, road, settle 6, 7, and then drops the road for 8, or 9, excuse me. So I think if he can get to the 8-10 on this play and use all these cards effectively, it feels like he can close out the game with like a quick little road sneak, because no one's really close to road right now. Instead, he ports for the wheat, and then he also leaves himself with like a kind of a clunky hand where he's probably going to have to drop a road. Watch, because his hand's going to be pretty oddly busted here. Like, that hand is ugly. That's an ugly hand. So now it's like he needs a sheep so he can port it. He drops a road. He's at 6 cards, so every roll puts him over. So I think if he thought about his hand after this play, he would realize it's probably going to be very ugly, and I probably should try to do something about it before I make this play. So now he's going to start trying to, trade for wheat or maybe trade for an extra wood. Let's see. Also, someone needs to build roads. Red having second thoughts. Well, remember, we talked about where red got kind of ugly here was going to the 9-10-2, which just doesn't make sense. Now, let's see here. I don't mind this road from Vish. If red had, like, let's say, a down or dev or 2 devs, you might want to be careful of road builders. Just straight up plowing. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll drop it from the left just to give me the option not to get fully plowed, but I think he should be fine here. Red should always be going to the 2-1 at this point. We got 52 people in the chat. Welcome, welcome. All right. Man, a 4 would be disgusting here for Mr. Vish. Vish the Bish. Man. And let's also keep a note. Look at where black's at right now. Like, we realize, black has not changed. Here it is, man. You didn't manage your hand properly when we know that play previously left you with a bad hand that you didn't want to clean up. So again, if you think about these things a little bit further and just think about, hey, if I make this play, what am I left with? Can I work with that? Can I afford to pass with that hand? I think he could have came to the conclusion that it was just a clunky, ugly hand. And the result, shown 4 or 5 turns later, is now he 7s out. Again, all these 1% just stack and stack and stack. And it could be the difference between winning and losing. Luckily, he probably shouldn't be the target here. It's been a while since I've heard that song. This song, Boop? You know this song? This is a great artist. Are you Boopang? Boopang coming in. GG Boopang. And honestly, I'm not even joking. If we go back and analyze the play that Vish did, he could actually be in a winning. He could have been in a winning position. Not this orbit, most likely, but next orbit. If he went to 8-10 and then tried to finish the game that way. Wait, he passed? Whoa, 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 whoa. Why would you? Am I missing something? Just drop the road, right? Okay. He passes. Um Yeah, I think you just dropped the road. Just clear your hand. Um Flooding hand in case of rob. No, I mean, look, you're at 5 cards, you have rolls. The 4 puts you over, the 10 puts you over, any 2 rolls back to back put you over. Versus if you go down to 3 cards, you have a lot more headroom to work there. And plus, you're going there anyways, right? And who cares? You lose an ore. You've already got 2 cities. So screw it. I mean, just empty your hand, clear it out. And here it is, right there. 10 puts him over. Now, the question is he going to 7? Is he going to 7 out? I think the Catan gods are going to teach him a lesson here. I think he is. I just think he is. I just feel it. I just feel it. Multi, what is good? By the way, I'm coming from a place of love. I know I'm giving him a hard time, but that's my job. That's why I'm here. Hope you had a good day, Multi. Welcome, man. So if he he rolled what? A 3 and a 10, that's 5 cards. I guess he would have been over either way, because he would have been, what, 3 cards? He would be 8 cards right now. But as it stands, he'd have to throw out 5 cards versus throwing out 4 cards. And again, all these cards matter here. You know, honestly, I think hand management is something that is not appreciated enough in Catan. And it's almost like you don't know what you don't know. So there's so many cases where, you know, let's say somebody 7's out. They'll say, oh, I got bad luck. It's like, you probably could have managed your hand 5 different ways and made trades to like limit your hand size, but you didn't think about it. You didn't know about it. So there's so many things that happen in Catan that almost just go undetected. Uh-oh. Black doing things at 4 points. Calm down there, son. Don't 7 out, Vish. Oh, man. I feel like even though I'm watching a video, I feel like I just put that out into the world. No, keep the road. All right. What are you doing here? What are you doing here, champ? All right, let's see what's going on. Interesting. So, first of all, he was going to 7 out regardless, right? So even if he dropped the road, but man, the road's valuable here. Like you are close to taking road. You've got to put yourself in this situation. You got to start putting yourselves like in a position where you could try to win quickly. Because you don't really have the best road game long term. You're not getting army, but there is a window here. So going to the A10, even after 7 out, should be a priority. It's a settle spot. You don't want to lose it, and it gives you the road play for the win. So after all this, he's going to try to pop a dev, maybe 2 devs. We'll see. I think he's tilting a little bit, and that's okay. Like, that happens. We've all been there. But that's why we're here, right? We're just kind of looking at the game, trying to figure out, like, what could he do better? So, again, don't take my words harshly. I'm here with only love. Hydration time. If he starts pulling knights, and see, now his hand's busted again. So if he 7's out, that was the thing, is the road was functional. Dropping the road clears his hand. And potentially he might have been able to drop the road and steal for a development card at the same time. That would have been the best case scenario. This game feels familiar. We've all been here. Why the brick? I guess for him, he's thinking that this is going to be the gateway for blue to potentially start taking road. I don't hate it. Obviously, it's a resource that pairs with all the wood that blue's going to have, and it's very difficult to stop his wood. He's got the 6, he's got the 10, maybe the 9, just because of, as a roll, it is pretty flexible. So maybe the 9. Don't 7, Vish. Okay. Yeah, I don't hate it. Like, the thing is, that's the thing with Blue's setup, is it's just flexible. It works. So it's very difficult to stop. Don't do it. Don't do it, man. Okay, yeah. I mean, if you can get 3 cards, I'd do it. Interesting sheep port play. Don't 7. Dude, black's coming back. Black is coming back, and it's interesting that nobody's popping here at all. Yeah, I think it's probably the 9. There you go. Drop the road. Maybe there's a way to steal a wood. Like in the 9 here on blue. Most likely gets the wood. Does he ever want to... I don't think he should pass here. I'm actually not... Honestly, I don't think it's a bad play for him to settle. Oh, man. Because you think about it, right? He has winning plays. If he settles for 7, he can pull... Yeah, now blue's making a serious road play here. He could pull and drop a road for the win. So I think that's a little... I think he's just getting a little bit too greedy with his hand here. It's not like you need too many more cities. But obviously, the city's not bad here. Ideally, he could see the 8-10, but he doesn't have that settle. This is... I'll be honest with you, Multi. And again, I'm not trying to sound like a dick, because part of me has to be somewhat... I have to critique. But yeah, I think the hand management's been one of the big stories here. Is at a certain point, I don't know if he was just frustrated, but he just kind of put himself in some really awkward situations with his hand. But it's fine. It's like, these are great games to learn. So I think it's super cool. It's like, also, like, really appreciate Vish allowing his game to be shown to the world. Most people wouldn't do that. Okay, big roll if you can get something like a 10 and a pop. So C, I want this again. Look at this. He 7'd out earlier. He didn't drop the road. There's been a few little mismanagements here. He's at 9. He's technically at 9 points right now. And just to think, if you just worked a little bit differently here and there, I think everyone can agree there's a play here to be at 10 points right now. But again, all in hindsight, looking back, looking for optimizations. But he does have a city. I think he'll probably take it. Probably like 11-4 city. You're a positive improvement, Dick. Oh, Crystal, I've been called a lot worse than that. We'll take it. We'll take it. Light a little bit here. And obviously, I have the comfort of sitting back, and watching. But the problem here is, as soon as road gets taken, it becomes pretty difficult. I think here what you need to do, I think the best idea is you drop a city, you settle road for the win. You've got a decent hand here. Like 10-8 wins, right? Or 8-4. Like, you have a lot of winning combinations. 8-5, 3-5, 10-3, 10-11. Like, so settle road wins. And blue's hella close too. Like, imagine if blue has a knight, which they don't, but they might drop the road. Yeah, 11-4 is fine. 4 becomes even more of a monster roll. Oh. So here is blue. It's pretty simple. You pop a knight. You settle. Like pop a knight, settle, and take road or something. Don't drop a city. Don't do it to me, blue. No! You're so close to army. You're so close. All right. All right, here we go. We still have winning rolls. Oh my god. He's going to get monoed so hard here. I feel it. I feel a mono is going to rip the brick. Or he just takes road here as black. So it should be winning here for him, right? Is that the win? Yeah, it's the win in his hand. So something has to change here. Either like a road builder, Year of Plenty, or mono. Or, the feed. I'm very against not using roads when you have them in most situations. Yeah. I think that's fair to say. I do think as blue, though, I'm starting to look at this situation. I think blue's probably still winning, but I think blue made a really big mistake there. And if they lose the game, it's because they did not buy a knight that turn. Because they have a really simple play. They could have settled, bought a dev, and either dropped a road or dropped it next turn for the win, right? Because their road is so indestructible here once they connect. So, like, why not go for army? Like, what's the worst thing that happen? You pull a mono? Great. You pull a VP? Great. Which you need anyways. You pull a yacht? Great. That's either road or a city. So, man, just little things. Oh, Vish. You have it, don't you? He'll have literally the perfect hand when it's all said and done. Originally, I would have liked the road up from the 10-4-9 to instead go towards Brickport. Opens up 2 settles and a road play earlier. 10-4-9. You mean the 10-5-4, Julia? 10-5-4. Okay, yeah, I read in the comments. Well, the only issue, and I think it's a fair one to some degree, Vish was just concerned that the 8-4 might go to blue. But in hindsight, looking at the wood situation, I mean, I don't necessarily agree with red, but leaving the 4-9-11. Doesn't he have it, or am I crazy? He's a card off. All right, so let's look at this. Yeah, he's a card off, huh? Damn, Vish. I almost think maybe the city's better here, but the settle's good too. Just so expensive. Versus it. Feels like, I mean, okay, I guess the 10-8's fine. He's like, okay, I'll listen to you, Drew. They're both good. The only issue here is if like he gets road built on. It might have been the 8-10 settle. It's just tough. Now he's going to have to settle on you to pull a VP. He can do this, though. He can do this. And right here, like let's say 9 rolls, blue would have won the game if they pulled a knight. They would have won the game. Yeah, that one steal mattered. That's crazy, huh? I think you're right. There is a concern in that situation of red. I guess that's fine. There is that concern that red could road build on you. But I don't think Red even has the resources for it. He still doesn't have his port. He still doesn't have his port. This is the issue. Red is just incredibly inflexible. His hand is just busted. This is nuts. Like, we might see a situation, honestly, where Red's about to get to like 8 points. Like, Red can still win this game, which is bonkers to me. Because think about it. He settles and pops. Or let's say he pops. He goes to 7, settles. Yeah, this might be... There's 7 points right there. Like, the thing is for blue, he's actually settle locked. So he either needs the VP, he needs army, or he needs a city. That's wild. Ben coming in with the prime. Welcome, welcome, man. I appreciate that. Daft Punk breaking up hurts, man. Yeah, it's been a minute though. I think they broke up, what, 10 years ago? 10 years and change? Spread the love, man. Yeah, I don't know. I think Blue's about to lose this game to Red. Like, he needs to start porting for city materials now. I guess he could pop if he has it, but I don't think he has it. There it is. He pours for his sheep? Why would he pour for his sheep? It's so weird. Two years, really? Has it been 2 years? I thought they broke up a long time ago, Christo. Oh, you guys see the time bar? No way. No, you don't see the time bar, do you? The time bar should be, oh, he's getting plowed. Oh, Vish. Yeah, so, I mean, this was probably why taking the settle was better. It was bound to happen. I mean, how many times did he, like, miss it? Remember, he had the road, he could have dropped at the 810 and probably got the settle. Didn't drop it. Oh, Vish. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Now, Red, bro, you could have gone to the settle over here. You could have gone over to the 6. Damn, man. Now, what's crazy here? Yeah, I was gonna say, like, now Black is in the running for army. This is crazy. Okay, so Vish should be going to 9 here. Yeah, no, you definitely hit blue. Wild. Black might be going to 8 or 9 points, right? Yeah, I mean, VP Knight, that's 8 points. All right. Is Black going to win this game? Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Well, Red fumbled there. Blue is going to pull and probably miss. Yeah, so he's going to either have to pull a few 4s and get over to a settle spot. But the problem with the 4s rolling is that it's just as good for blue. This looks like a pull to me. He's close though. I don't think he has it. Look at blue complaining. Ooh, he misses. Oh, it's a 2. Okay, so now I think as Black, you have to aggressively play a knight here. Black's going to win this game. Wow. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So How many roads? He needs 5 roads to take it. It's not impossible. 5 roads. You know, he should aggressively knight the 8 or the 6. Yeah, that's not too bad. 6 is probably better, though. He has 9 points here as black. Oh, my goodness. Oh, this looks like... Oh, that's GG for sure. GG. Everything's like the wood's portable here. The wheats can be used. Has to be game here. Crazy. Yeah, he just drops a city, right? Oh, black, get over it. It's over. What are you talking about? It doesn't matter. Imagine he just pops here. Okay. I was like, blue? All right. It was just like, you know, the celebration pop. Damn. Interesting game. Let's take a little bit of hydration here. All right. There's some dice stats for you. We'll go through, I guess it's all just chit chat here and some of the stats. We'll go look at the board here in a second. Production. Vish you had the most production, man. That's for sure. You 7'd out the most. All right, so here's the story of the game for everyone, okay? Hand management. Right here. This is the crux of this game. If there's anything you need to take out tonight, it's how do you manage your hands so that you don't lose 18 resources to a 7. Now, to be fair, he was going to lose some. There were just some rolls that were too big. But I bet you, if we really thought about this, we probably could limit this down to like maybe 8 to 10 cards, which means that he has 8 cards effectively that could be maybe 2 pops. It could be 2 roads to open up a settle. It could be a city. Yeah, man, like every move you make matters. And it's even more important when you have 2 early cities to make sure that you are focusing on manage your hand properly. My man took all bad decisions. No. I mean, Vish got the 9 points, right? So it's hard to say if anything, let's talk about red making bad decisions where they actually had, I think, a winning play. But then he went on this big adventure for a plow when he couldn't do it, and he wasted a road builder. Like, Vish he played well here. He made some critical mistakes though that I think cost him the game. I have 24K. All right. I will figure out a solution for channel points. I know I'm lagging behind. It will happen. There were moments when that game was frustrating to watch. Yeah. And I assume it was probably frustrating for him to play, you know? Lundy coming with the slots. You gotta do slots all. There you go. Gamble all your winnings in the Dandy Drew channel. Is Kelly here, by the way? I just need to hire Kelly to set up my slots. The problem is, though, as soon as I put up slot machines on my channel, half of you are going to just be gambling half the time. So I think that's probably a horrible mistake. Because, you know, Boop and I, we have a gambling problem on Twitch, apparently. Every time we see each other, we just gamble all our slot points, and then we leave stream. You don't like slots? I don't think I'll do slots. Don't worry. All right, so let's go back to the kind of the final turn here. So obviously, blue dicking around has the win. I like the setup. And probably in hindsight, I think pointing up was probably a generally safe bet for Vish. Again, you never know when you're in that 16 to 1700 range on ranked. I could see someone taking the 4-9-11. I think with the 6-9-3, it makes a lot more sense for blue. But let's say they were going 4-9-11 right. They might really just decide to go 8-10. So I think in this situation, it makes a lot of sense with all this extra wood to go for the woodport play. So he's probably safe to point up. Overall, like the rolls were actually really good for him. He got really timely fours, which gave him like his fast settles, his cities. I do think going for the early city was probably a play for him as well. And he definitely missed an opportunity to trade for that early city. There's no doubt in my mind. Other than that, I would say the moments of hand management were critical. Not dropping the road. You know, when he made that big play to go to the 11-4, let's see if we can go find it real quick. It was a big ass hand. This hand here. The problem with this hand here for Vish, again, if you do the calculations, I can see if I can get. It's just really bad after he finishes the settle and he doesn't have a way to clean it up unless he ports the ore, which you just don't want to do. So these are moments when you do your calculations, you want to look at your future hand and figure out, can I solve this problem? Can I do more with this? And try to solve it before you make the play. So if you realize, like, no, I can't, then maybe it was better for him to find a trade for this wood to get to like the 8-4 and then come back to the 11-4 at another time. So I like to try to use up as much of my hand as I possibly can every turn because I don't want dead cards. I don't want to be 7ing out. So that's where the crux of this game for Vish is really focusing your hand management. And you got to take advantage of when you're in this situation when you don't have a clear option for road or army. Focus on getting your production up so you can stay flexible enough to pick a path. And worst case, you build the 10, just like he was doing here anyways. Ben, yep, 8-10 was a good play for him there. And I think there was certainly, if we go back to the resources, there's actually a lot of wood out. Like I'm pretty sure there would have been a trade for wood somewhere. Might have been here or one of the previous turns. But overall, man, I mean, like I said, you're a great player, Vish. 1700 elo is no joke. It's a great spot to be in. But got to clean up some of these little mistakes. Mistakes make you greater. Yeah, of course. I mean, look, there's nobody that plays a perfect game of Catan. And really, I don't care about making mistakes. I think what's important is you learn from your mistakes and you get better from your mistakes. So, with this hand setting up, the 8-10 would have been my move. Yep. Was there any questions to this game? I think it was a good game. I think there was a lot of fun examples. As far as like, also some of the blocks weren't very good from Vish. I think the 6 sheep solo, like why was the sheep getting soloed here? Like solo the brick, solo something that's really going to hurt him. There's nothing wrong with leaving the 6 open. You want the sheep because you don't really have too much with the 10. Other than that, red definitely misplayed this. As red, go to your specialized port, buy devs, drop cities. 9-10-2 is not the answer. That's like, I don't know. That's the last spot I'm going to. All right. I think we got some fun insights there. I think his board talk is too aggressive. Probably. He probably watches too much Dandy Drew, to be fair. I mean, let's be honest, Dr. Gears, you can say whatever you want about board talk there. There was just clear mistakes that I think cost him the game. So we're going to do a Dandy game here. I mean, there's so many opportunities there in that game that you just can't say board talk had anything to do with it. Well, there you go, YouTube. Thank you very much. Hopefully you learned a few things or two watching this. And I want to say thank you to Twitch and Vish for sharing his gameplay with everybody. If you are new to the channel and you want to keep getting awesome Catan insights and get better, Feel free to like, subscribe. We're going to keep growing this channel, keep growing this community. Otherwise, have a good one. Dandy is out. Peace.